Welcome back to Ben and Wine, still at the Abbotsford Convent Foundation Arts Precinct. We're going to be looking at something pretty special in this segment. We're also going to be accompanied by a motor there or there, I'm not sure, because there's some weird echoing going on, so that's the strange noise. We're going to be looking at today some Yalumba 1979 vintage port. Why is it weird and quirky? Because it's got Dulcify on it. Now, Dulcify was a horse. Not something you usually associate with wine, but it's these kind of labels that you see in quirky bottle shops that you're sort of baffled. You go, what the hell is that? Is it going to taste like anything nice whatsoever? The beauty of this, and this has been part of our series in the last few episodes, is that we're doing them at $20 and below. This bottle of wine that's 29 years old cost $20. Okay, so we're going to have a look. It looked in pretty amazing condition. The cork does have a little bit of seepage, but just quickly smelling that, it's awesome. I did lose a little bit in there, so I'll try not to get it in the glass. Before I drink this, and I'm not going to spit any out, I promise you, talk a little bit about vintage port. Two things. One, vintage port needs to be drunk very soon after it's opened because it's spent most of its life in bottles, so it's had almost no contact with air. Other ports, tawnies and things like that, late bottle vintage port spends a longer period of its life in barrel where it's got a little bit of exposure to air, so therefore it's more stable when it's around oxygen. Oxygen's wine's biggest sort of baddie enemy. Just look at it, I mean, it looks like sort of liquid chocolate. There's a very slight red to it. This beautiful sort of madderized sort of quality coming from it. It is old. It's probably not that really pure, vibrant self that it once was, but this is divine to smell. One other point, the reason that you decant vintage port is because it's made, especially stuff from Portugal, it's made in a very aggressive way. They're put into containers, they're mashed up really hard, but not to crush pips, but it's a very aggressive way to start the fermentation. So when they're in bottle, because it's been so aggressive, lots of little bits of the sediment is in the bottle. So that eventually falls out over time. Lots of big bits of sediment in vintage port, so decant it, but not too early when you drink it. Decant it so that you can drink it without the chunks. This tastes a lot like sort of Oloroso or something like that. It's quite elegant. It's not as rich and syrupy as I would have expected. It's got a bit of heat that's going down my throat, which sort of goes with the heat of the day. It's not summer drinking by any stretch, but it's gorgeous. Maybe have it with a bowl of ice cream or some really good friends. You could probably get some through Ben and Wine, but if you can't, jump down to Como Cellars. I know they're doing it and they will always look after you. But if you want to go through us, we'll help you out too.